Well, kids are spending more time on screens with schoolwork, education and playdates all moving online to comply with physical distancing measures. For some parents and carers, it's been a significant adjustment, especially given health recommendations that kids' screen time be limited. For more on this, I'm joined by Joanne Orlando, who's a researcher of children and technology at Western Sydney University. Joanne, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Now, should we be throwing out our pre-COVID-19 screen time rules in this new era of educating for many of us from home?
Yeah, it's just proving too difficult for most families. Like, most families are under so much stress already that sticking to the usual, regular screen time rules that you've got in home is just proving too hard. Because as you said, we're on there for school, for entertainment, to say hi to grandma, for shopping, for everything. So we still want to make sure that children have healthy screen habits, but counting the hours and minutes that they're on is not the way to do it now. There are other ways that are much more doable that parents should be using now instead.
OK, let's talk about some of those other ways, because I've been reading a bit. We need to focus on quality screen time. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. So if you think you have an 8-year-old child, they might spend 30 minutes on their screen watching a craft video. They've got their paper along, they're folding their paper and they're making their craft. Or they could be spending 30 minutes watching a violent video game. So quality is about what they're actually doing on the screen, the ideas they're seeing, the kinds of storyline or character, whether the content is making them think, problem solve. We should be avoiding lots of content that's very passive or that's not age appropriate. And we should be aiming for content that's quality. So it's interactive, it's for the child's age, and it's educational. So it's creative, gets them to think, gets them to problem solve, gets them to communicate, to work together, that gets them active, you know, and that's especially what we need right now.
Where can parents go to find out what their kids could be doing online? That's educational, that's age appropriate, that is interactive. Is there a one-stop shop?
Yeah, well, there's lots of ideas online. I've got my own course that I've put up there for parents. It's free. And in there, I've got lots of educational apps and ways to use technology that are educational, that are quality. So you can go onto my website as well and find these.
OK, with social distancing, we know that kids aren't getting that physical interactivity that often happens incidentally when they're at school, and they're really missing out on that. Is screen time the only answer for kids to connect with people their own age?
Well, we know screens are really important for connecting now. And so one of the other things that about healthy screen habits is what I call screen buddies. So who they're on their technology with. So they might be on with their brother, playing something. They could be on with their classmates at, online schooling. But then there's also going to be times when they might be video conferencing with a friend and they're chatting, or they're having lunch together, or they're Skyping, their auntie. So we do really need the screens to connect with others at this point. Of course, the visitors to our home are a lot more restricted. So it is really important that they connect with a variety of people that they would normally see and talk to.
Joanne, you spoke about 8-year-olds before. What about the tweens and the teens? How important is it for parents to kind of co-engage with them of that age group?
Oh, look, it's really important. Often what we tend to do as parents, now I've got 3 teenagers myself, so I'm in the same situation, but often what we do is we tend to be a bystander, telling them what they shouldn't be doing and what they should be doing on their device. And that's important. We want to guide them, but we should step into more of an active role with teenagers and tweens when they're online. So doing things on a screen with them. So it could be playing a game, that's kind of easy. It could be watching a movie, but doing something a bit more active. It could be making an artwork, putting together a music playlist, doing a science experiment together. All these things are online, and there's so many new activities that families can take part in online as well. So check out some of those and give them a go. It's a perfect opportunity to bond with your child, and doing it around technology is not bad. It's just one aspect of our life.
So just to round out this conversation, Joanne, for any parents watching at home, if they could take just some key take-home tips, what would they be from you on how to best manage kids and screen time?
Yeah, I think one is make sure a child isn't on their device for 6 or 7 hours a day by themselves locked in their bedroom. So that's not healthy for anyone. So try to organise different kinds of social scenarios around the device where you're doing things as a family or they're doing things with other people online. And I think also look through the kinds of apps that your child is using and just make sure there's kind of a variety of apps and then they're not all passive, that they actually get the child to think and do things. You know, maybe they don't have any science apps, so look for a science experiment or a fun science game app to pop it in, but help to kind of broaden their interests through their technology. You know, it's the best thing you can do right now.
Some great tips there, Joanne Orlando. We've got a home